What do you think is stopping your product from getting to the next stage? It might be that your product is confusing. Maybe it looks really nice, you've gotten some funding, you've gotten some traction, and people are like, this is a really great idea. But something's not quite sticking. Maybe your developer wasn't who designed it. Maybe it's you had to rush through things and you weren't able to really sit down and make sure that everything was really fine-tuned, or you weren't able to test it with people. Now, there's a few things you can do to make sure your product is a little more usable. Number one, put it in front of your users. Do user testing. I have a whole other video about that. So today, I actually want to talk more about a UX audit. A UX audit is something that you can do, you or someone on your team, or you can bring someone in like me, who is a product designer, to go through and look at each part of your product and your screen and say, is everything clear? Does this set up the person for success? My name is Elaine Haskins, and I'm a product designer, and I run Onale, which is a product design studio. I personally love working with SaaS founders who have an early product. Usually their developers made it really quickly, just enough to validate and test the idea. Now that you have the green light and you're ready to bring that to the next level, get new rounds of investment, and get loyal users that aren't just there to beta test, but are there for the long run, that's where I jump in. So your product is confusing to users. What can we do about it? So one thing to look for is, are all the buttons clear where they lead? That's like a small thing that might not make or break your experience, but all of these are going to add up. What you'll find in all the things that I show you is you might say, oh, well, that doesn't really matter, or it's just like a button. They can get over it. They can get past it. It's a B2B product, so someone has to use it for their job. But if you start looking away from all these things, pretty soon, everything's going to compound and your whole thing's going to be confusing. So the first one is, are all the buttons clear with where they lead? And I'm not talking just about, oh, well, the button's right there. It's big. It's the right color. But what does it say? If you have a page, let's say I use this in the other place. Let's say you are like a car insurance software. You help make claims. Let's say there's a button where you need to generate a report. Instead of just saying create or generate or make, what's it going to do? Right? Create new report or create report. So it's very clear and takes less mental energy to know this is exactly what's going to happen. There's no second guessing. Sometimes you have a create button that maybe you can create multiple things. Make sure it's clear that you could create many things. Maybe there's like a little drop down. I'm not going to get into semantics of how to demonstrate that, but the first step is just, is it possible? Looking at that, do people even understand what's going on? Second is, can you undo something? Let's say you make, brain fart. Do you allow someone to undo a mistake they made? Okay, take Gmail, and there's probably other email sources that do this as well. People fat finger that send button all the time. Sometimes people put in the wrong email, and it could be really important things. But they do have like an undo send, and it's a really small feature, but like it pops up and you can undo your email for like 5 seconds. I don't know about you, but like for me, that's a huge godsend, because I'm like, oh, I'm kind of anxious. I want to resend it and I just want to reread it. But can you undo something if you make a mistake? How can you make sure that you can catch all those things before it becomes a problem for your user? The next is, can you tell where you are in the experience? If I'm in the middle of a progression, so let's say you are in a workflow where there's a lot of different steps. Do I know what workflow I'm a part of? Do I know I'm on step 3? You can do this with different steppers, but the most important thing is you need to make sure that it's clear, like usually using the headers. Do I know where I am? Am I on the claims page? Am I on the create a new claim page? Am I on the inventory page? Am I on the detail page of this customer, this client? Where am I? This is something that's often overlooked because people are like, well, obviously you're in the claim page. People might not know it. You might just be looking at a table. So even if it's something that if you are investigating very deeply, maybe you could figure it out, you want to make sure that people can figure out these things using as little brain power as possible. Next, if you make a mistake, is that communicated to you? How can people know that they either put something in wrong? The easiest way to think about this is, let's say, like on a form, oftentimes you're putting in like your password. And let's say it didn't say wrong password. It was just like, it just stayed on that screen. You're like, enter, and it doesn't go anywhere. That's pretty annoying. Is there a way to let them know? Even if it's something small, like something comes up and says, hey, this is wrong. Some text appears. Maybe there's like the color changes to be red. Just those small interactions, they are informing the user, hey, what's happening? So they're not left in the dark. That can really cause distress to people where they're like, I don't really know what to do. Imagine you were having someone create like for taxes. There's software for taxes. Let's say they put in the wrong thing and they couldn't submit their taxes because you put in the wrong number that just does not make any sense. But you're like, well, can't submit it. But you don't let them know where the mistake was, what they can do to fix it. So they're just sitting there being like, I don't know why my taxes aren't sending. I just spent hours on this. Send. And if there's no way to do it, now they're really frustrated and they might leave. They probably won't recommend it to someone because not everyone's just going to sit on the line with customer service. Okay. Number 5, do sequential tasks flow seamlessly into each other? Imagine if you were on your bank, you were opening a bank account and you fill out the information to create a new bank account. You're like, sign up. I want this kind of account. I want a savings account. And they're like, awesome. Done. And then in order to add money to that bank account, you had to do that. You had to go find it. And you're like, what? Shouldn't I? That's kind of like step 2. Shouldn't I already have that? There are definitely things where it feels like you're going on a goose chase. Just make sure that's not your product, that whatever makes sense, you can seamlessly go in. In an e-commerce example, oftentimes you can go to the cart to check out. Like you pick your item, you customize it, you add to the cart, and then you have to go to the cart and check out. But a lot of times what they do, the good places, is they'll have a button that's right there that says, okay, check out. And then you can immediately start checking out. Imagine if that button wasn't even there and the only way to check out was if you were to go to the cart and you have to know to do that. Someone might not know that they have to go do that. And the last one is, do you know what is expected of you at each task? Is it clear, even at the beginning, like what instructions? This could be through your headlines. This could be through your directions. What are those things where someone can know, okay, yep, this is what I got to do? This could be in a CTA where you're very clearly like, save your form, add a new person. It could, if it's a progression, you might even have instructions at the top. If you have a much more complicated workflow, you really want to make sure that people know, okay, this is what's going to happen. If it's something that has a lot of different steps in a workflow, knowing that stepper of like, okay, there's going to be 6 things, mentally prepares that person that they're going to be doing 6 things. Not that they're doing like 4 and they're like, man, this won't end. I'm like, where am I? I'm starting to get lost. There's all these other things. It's just really helpful to get someone in the mindset so they understand this is what's about to happen. Or, okay, here's another one with your taxes. There's a lot of documents that you're gonna need to upload. It would be very helpful to know what are you gonna need before you start the session. Not that you put some in, oh, I gotta go find this form. You run, you go to the files, you go find it. Oh, this other one, it's online, go find it. And so you keep getting interrupted because you have to go find it because you didn't know at the start what you were going to need. Set your users up for success by letting them know ahead of time, hey, this is what you're gonna have, this, and this. Another example, this is more of like a media example. Anytime someone is like going to be on a podcast or like a video webinar kind of thing, usually they get notified ahead of time of, hey, please make sure that you have a clear background, you have like headphones, you have do not disturb on. Like I've gone into speaking engagements where they give me that list ahead of time and I'm like, okay, yeah, those things all make sense, but maybe I wouldn't have thought of that on my own had you not reminded me. So all those small things do start adding up. Now, your product's not going to just like combust if you have some of these things that are a little bit wonky, But what it will do is it will start frustrating people. It will deteriorate trust. It's going to cheapen your feel. And maybe it was enough to get you over for validation and people were enough to be like, ooh, this is a good idea. But when you start scaling, make sure you're the type of product that people want to recommend to their friends and not the type that they are ranting and venting about to other people. So like I said, this is something that you can do on your team. But if you do need a hand figuring out your product to see if your product is as easy as you think it is, feel free to schedule a free 20-minute strategy session with me. We can talk about user interviews, we can talk about doing a product audit, and just see how else that I can take something off your plate.